Alright guys, welcome back. Survival Living here. So, as always, it takes a quick moment for me to get everything up and running on the channel because, yeah, it's just the way it is. This video today is probably not the best move on my behalf, but I feel like I need to speak on this subject, kind of warn you guys, alright? You guys need to be careful. Alright, so let me double check on my end, make sure that we are actually live. The thumbnail alone probably got this channel nailed. We've been hit a whole lot. So guys, if you can hear me, everything sounds good, let me know. A whole lot. Alright, I got audio on my end. Okay guys, so I got the chat over here, so I can try to keep up. Alright, so I tried to cover this video topic it was like a day after that happened. Thomas from Austria, good to see you, brother. And by the way, I did get your postcard that you sent me. I was able to pick that up the other day. Definitely do appreciate that, my friend. So I tried to cover this topic the other day, and the platform nailed me. It did. Asymmetrical preparedness. Definitely good to see you, brother. Guys, if you are not subscribed to Asymmetrical Preparedness, I recommend you go check out his channel. Don't just subscribe, but follow up and watch his videos. Be part of his community, okay? Don't just subscribe and never go back. Check these guys out, all right? He's a great dude. Monica Kelly, definitely do appreciate the super chat. Never required, my friend. All right, so we're going to attempt this video again, guys. And we are live, so bear with me here. And I've had very little sleep. I've been hurting all night. My legs and stuff's been killing me. I did squats yesterday. So I tried to cover this topic and the platform nailed me, all right? It was my reaction to Potato Head and his Third Reich speech. Let's put it that way. Okay. Enough about the things like that. You know, guys, my dad, he was watching that speech too. He's still revved up over this thing. We all are. And I'm here on this platform right now doing this video, worried that I might get nailed hard on this platform. Something we need to talk about, something you guys need to be ready for. Now, there's a lot of people online that want you to beat on your chest, grab your freedom tools. Let's put it that way. I got to watch what I say, guys, because I got nailed hard last time. And hit the streets and start opening up. All right? Who are you opening up on? Civilians, fellow Americans, because they have a different political view? Our democracy was built on different views, okay? Now, do I agree with the other side? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I believe in the Constitution. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It's manipulated for their own agendas and lobbyists and their end plan. They're not there for you. But I do want to talk about what old Potato Head said about the MAGAs. You know, in my opinion, those guys, the MAGAs, there's absolutely nothing wrong with what they stand for. Actually, they have one of the most core value beliefs I've seen in a long time. And they're even separated than the right-wingers, okay? Because most of the right-wingers are full of crap too. But to actually call a different political side an extremist and danger. You know, there was a time, I wonder if that's why he had his red lights, a certain dictatorship ran a country and they would get away and get rid of their opposition, political opposition. And that's how I feel like what's going on right now with that. Asymmetrical Preparedness Division is their agenda. Yeah, there is so much division between us. Everybody. Over everything. One of the biggest one, flat or round planet. Yeah, and you see how I phrase that? Because that's also getting hit too. I want to discuss some things, guys. Do I believe that Americans have the right to overthrow American citizens? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm watching how I say things. But I also want you guys to watch what you type. The reason being, I'm a prepping channel. I don't talk about politics much, but I do talk about it. The internet, every keystroke you type goes into a database. I see in the comments, well, there's not enough people to watch every keystroke. That's why they have algorithms. You get flagged, you get pulled, they watch you. I know, oh, this guy's crazy. No, I'm not. It's actual facts. It's not conspiracy. When you come to channels and you start typing away, you are a target. You go into a file, you get watched. So watch what you say. If you agree with the stuff I say, especially on topics like this, just hit the comment section and go, great video, or something along those lines. Don't go into details about what you are planning. I see that all the time. That's going to get you, that's premeditated. That's going to get you hemmed up quick. Now, guys, the big discussion I see a lot is that the U.S. military will never turn on civilians in case of a civil conflict. I really hope not. I really hope not. You know, there's people online that would beat their chest, scream and holler, all kind of stuff, just to make you feel that you're in the right, and you might be in the right. How do I say this? One, they're just full of crap. They're just full of crap. They're trying to get those views and everything, get you all revved up. They're going to get you hemmed up. That's what's going to happen. Okay? Our country has been going more and more to what I would call a police state. There's a reason why local law enforcements drive around with armored vehicle. We don't live in Beirut. But man, they are armed to the teeth. Now, for some law enforcement that are actually good people trying to make a difference, you know, we stand behind people like that because there needs to be law and order, of course. Could you imagine this country without law and order? Seriously? But there's so much corruption. Mainly power and authority corrupts people a lot. It really does. I've had my own run-ins. All right. Now, years ago, I wasn't a good guy, broke the law, stuff like that, messed up in my life. But ever since then, I walked a straight line. Been real careful what I do. But I still see them. I can identify how they act. I can identify how they target, how they watch. Prepping communities here on the internet, we put ourselves out here to help teach people, get people ready. Okay? We know we're targets. This is why I say don't keep everything in one spot. Move things around. Everything from your preps, build a community of people at your home. I'm not talking about go build a compound. That's going to get your door kicked in quick. But you need to be training. You need to be working with people. You need to build a group. You as an individual that has been targeted is an easy individual to take out. Now I know, I've seen the comments, well, I've got 1,000 rounds, I've got this, I've got that. This is an Xbox. You might have 1,000 rounds. I've discussed this. Did you know a 22 will go right through a wall of a home? I'm not talking about the interior. The actual construction of most homes in America has vinyl sidings 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch plywood, plastic wrap. You got a 16-inch void center to center of a 2x4 stud. It's got insulation. Then you got 1/2 inch sheetrock on the other side. While you got your 1,000 rounds, you got 7, 8 dudes opening up. All right. That's why I always say you need to have a bug out plan. And now, am I saying you should never defend yourself? No, that's not what I'm saying. Hear me out on this. You need to be smart, but you don't need to be coming on channels typing away these things, because you will get hemmed up. All right. Word of mouth stuff is what you need to be doing if you're building groups. Don't do it online. Don't do it by email. Don't do it that way. All right. Now, when it comes back to, do I think the military will turn on U.S. citizens? Well, let's take a look at history. All right. Look at our civil conflict we had in this country. Now, granted, according to textbooks, it was North versus South, and that was it. There's a lot of civilian combatants. There's a lot of civilian injuries, deaths. A lot of shady stuff goes on during war. Give me a second, guys. I got a little something here. I went ahead, because I see so much crap online, you know, people claiming all this stuff and everything else like that, you know, special operator, stuff like that, you know. No, I'm not targeting any group. The knife hand has been around for a very long time. I'm not targeting Bear Independence when I say that. It's just one of those phrases we use. So anyway, during my house fire and my incarceration, I lost my DD-214. So I ordered it. I went ahead and redacted most of my information because they have a lot of information here. Personal information, because one of the first things they say is this is an important record, safeguard it, because it's got my Social Security, where I'm listed at, addresses, things like that. But all you got to see is I took out my last name, my first name, and where I served. United States. Oh, it's backwards. Anyway, it says U.S. Air Force. This is my first name. And I redacted everything else on that because this thing has a lot of personal information. So we're not going to go over my personal information, because here on the internet, people like to dox. In case you don't know what doxing is where they release your personal information, your home address, business address, all that stuff on the internet because they don't like what you're saying. And then you have to worry about that security too. So that's why I'm careful about that. But I did want to get, like I said, I didn't have my DD-214 when I had my house fire, then I had my incarceration. You lose a lot of stuff. So I had to file for that. And by the way, for people that say that they cannot get hold of a DD-214 because the military scrubbed their records, they're full of shit. I don't care if you only spent 10 hours in boot camp, you still get walking papers. All right. So, coffee. But I did want to bring that up. All right, guys, let me get in here right fast. And by the way, guys, if you got questions, put the @ symbol because it lights up on my screen, Survival Living, so I can definitely check that out. Soldiers obey. Yes, soldiers do obey to orders. Now, Hollywood likes to spin off a lot of stuff about moral orders, the dilemma, is this right? You know, and it is. Soldiers aren't completely just mindless drones. Okay, they know what's right and what's wrong. But when you're in the service, if you don't do what you're told, you are definitely threatened with imprisonment. All right. Most U.S. military has family. Most love their country. That's why they enlisted. So I hope that those that are active duty, I hope that you will never turn your weapons on American civilians. We can philosophize and theorize here on the internet all day long. And until the event actually happens, that's all it is. What I hope is that military personnel will do anything to protect American civilians, even from a tyrannical government. You know, they're calling us domestic enemies of the state. Of the state. Sound like another dictator we might all know. You know, back in the day. Let me get back in the chat here, guys. Prepping by Faith, good to see you. X24, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? KT, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? All right, guys. So my main thing is, guys, be careful what you type online. Just be careful what you type online. You need to be building communities. You do. Bama Bushcrafter, do you think the UN would or could have troops on U.S. soil? Yes. Yes, I do. Here's another thing, guys. If there is a civil conflict, people don't really think much into the logistics of this. A civil conflict from government to the civilians. And it won't be all of us. It won't. You got a lot of civilians that are just spoon-fed, they're just being spoon-fed the crap, and they don't care. As long as they get their EBTs and stuff like that, the government pays for their stuff, they're happy. All right. If there's a conflict between constitutionalists and government, do not be surprised if we see foreign military rendering aid. Now, this is something I want to throw out there to you guys. If something like this goes down, do you not think that the bear country, the dragon country, would not be quick to run and offer aid and equipment, food, supplies, and stuff like that to the constitutionalists that are trying to overthrow the government? Because, of course, they would love to overthrow the government, wouldn't they? And if they actually helped and the constitutionalists won, who do you think is going to be there to take over the country? All right. It's not just clean cut. We are taking our country back. There's going to be a lot of factors coming in. And if a civil conflict on a mass scale is going on here in this country, a lot of players trying to get a piece of that pie, if not to have it all. So for those that want to scream, we need to paint the streets red. There's more to it than just that. And who are you taking out? Your neighbor because he's a liberal? His political views do not affect me until he's trying to push his stuff on me. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not like a lot of those liberal policies, okay? Case in point, drag queens and reading books to kids, the whole gender questions being taught to children. To me, that seems like that's more like sexual abuse in a way. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm trailing off here. Let me get back on point. Our country was built on objectives. We have a democracy, so we all have different ideas on things. It's not a dictatorship. But I think people really, I know people are frustrated, and it's understandable to be frustrated. It is. Does something need to happen? Yes. But it's not clean cut, run around with the dump pouch and everything else, tactical gear, and just start mowing down things. It's not. And here's another thing. A lot of people like to throw Afghanistan civilians and how hard it was for U.S. troops to secure the city block, things like that. And the things I see on the internet is where people's like, well, a civilian with an AK, they can hold off an army and all this other stuff. Yes and no. When our troops were over there, they had rules they had to abide by. In other words, if they didn't follow rules of engagement correctly, their ass was in the stockades, their ass was in Leavenworth, war crimes. What do you think a civil conflict's going to be? There's no Geneva Convention. There's none of that. So when an opposition is fighting you as a civilian, and you got the belief that as long as you got your AR, there's nothing wrong with an AR, it's a great firearm, but you think you're going to hold off a platoon of trained military hardasses because starving people in Afghanistan did the same thing. If this is a civil conflict, you're ready for something to come flying over and a smart bomb drop on your ass. Okay? There's more to this. It's not cut and dry like people believe. It's not. All right? It's not. So I want you to train. I want you to be ready. I want you to defend. But I want you to be smart. Don't come on YouTube typing away stuff because you go on that list. All right? So what would I do if I was this government? I'd let you type away. And that way, 2 o'clock in the morning, when I'm doing roundups, I send 12, 15 guys to kick down your door, come in your home. Or just wait for you to step outside to go check your mail, tackled your ass, we got them without a shot fired. Just some thoughts. It's not cut and dry like we see on the movies. It's not. It's just not. Asymmetrical preparedness. What do you got here, bud? This is very complex and dynamic. We need to prepare for as many things as we can. I agree. Like I said, guys, if you haven't been to his channel yet, if one of my mods can get his link up, that'd be awesome. He's got a lot of great information, guys, and a lot of training videos and stuff you guys really need to be checking out. But not just watch videos, guys. I mean, if you're one that you're going to be running the streets, I recommend training a lot. All right. Reaper, I'm already on the list. One click of a button. Yeah, Reaper, same here. I'm on the list multiple ways. It doesn't mean you're not prepared to fight for what you believe in. I just want you guys to be smart about it. That way you don't get your ass swacked. All right? Work with groups. Be smart. We all are frustrated. We all want to do something. Just be careful how you do it. All right? Scrolling through here, guys. I could be beating on my chest talking about how we're going to be kicking down doors and we're going to be taking names and everything else. But we're not going to do that. That's kind of like with the channel, guys. I show you what we do. Everything from the workouts to outdoor survival. I try to, what I call, put my money where my mouth is. All right? In other words, I'm showing you how hard things are. Trying to give you the reality of stuff. A lot of people don't like hearing the reality of stuff. They want to play pretend in a fantasy bubble. Okay? Fantasy bubbles will get you killed. Quick. All right? Tennessee Tactical, good to see you, brother. I just kept stacking and grinding in my own house while I can. Tennessee Tactical, absolutely. The guys, keep on stockpiling food and supplies. Keep doing that. But please move your stuff around. Don't have it all in one spot. You know, when we talk about building community, it's a difficult subject to actually get done correctly because you run threats of, can you trust the person? Are they a plant? If you got a group, a large group, I guarantee you've got a couple plants in there. Okay, so just watch what you say. All right, if you got a group, any groups that are together, train and stuff like that, guys, they watch. Okay, can they grab everybody? Well, if there's enough of us actually doing stuff, no. But then it goes back into, will the U.S. military get called onto American civilians? Again, I hope not. I hope not. I hope there's, and that's the thing though, it's not so cut and dry for everybody. The threats that are put on U.S. troops, U.S. military servicemen and ladies, the threat of incarceration, I mean, they got families too. I hope they have enough moral compass about them that they will say no, but then this is what happens to them. They go to Leavenworth or Fort Sill, whatever, you know, wherever they're going to be putting them at. It would take a massive movement, is what it would take. But you can't use social media to organize something like this. I've talked about there's a lot of logistics involved. A lot. Food, supplies, medical. I mean, what happens when you take a round? Do you have a medical team, a hospital, way to extract somebody off a battlefield to provide aid? Or are you just going to run around with your personal first aid kit and hope for the best? And then when infections set in, internal bleeding, but you don't have a medical facility built up because you just ran out to the streets. Just some things to think about. Am I saying we shouldn't? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying be smart. This isn't something that happens overnight. Something like this, if it happens overnight, it's just going to get everybody killed. All right? That's all it's going to do. And this video here will probably hit us really hard, guys. It will. I usually don't talk about stuff like this. I usually try to avoid topics like this and leave it to other channels. But this topic has been eating on me, mainly because I see the comments and it's just going to get you hemmed up. Don't leave those comments, guys. It's going to get you hemmed up. All right, it will. All right, guys, scrolling through here. All right, Miss Bella, good to see you. Miss Ghetto, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Who would put on blue helmets against us? No country wants that smoke. Well, I do believe the UN would try to step in. Now, am I calling for insurrection and stuff like that? No. YouTube platform. I'm just trying to warn people not to be dumb and not to get hurt. There's things we can do, guys. Things we can start building ourselves, getting things ready. But again, like I said, look at your local law enforcements driving around with armored MRAPs as if we're riding down Main Street of Beirut or something. I mean, really? Wow. Van City Prepper, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Also, another great channel, guys. If you haven't been over there to Van City Prepper, and if you are on Instagram, definitely check out her Instagram as well. Prepping by Faith, good to see you, my friend. Prepping by Faith, great channel, guys. I'm glad she is here on YouTube. I know she's been doing some collaboration with, I believe she just did one with the Angry Prepper. Also, the Angry Prepper is a great dude. If you guys have not been over there, I definitely recommend him out. Let's see here, guys. So let me go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I'm not going to keep on ranting and raving and stuff like that. I just want to get some thought process out there for you guys. I want you to think about things, and I also want you to prepare accordingly. If a civil conflict was to go down, our way of life is done. It is. You're no longer riding down the road. You're not going to the grocery store. He's not very angry these days. All right, back on topic. I just saw that chat, made me laugh. You're not going to the grocery store. A massive civil conflict goes down right now. Everybody's screaming for it. Everybody's screaming for it. We need to do this. We need to do that. How in the hell are you going to provide food for these people? How are you going to provide food for you and your family if you haven't been stockpiling food? All right. Something like this goes down. Shipping and all that stuff stops. All that stuff stops. Well, we'll grow our own stuff. When was the last garden you grew, and how did that turn out for you with the droughts and the heats that we've been dealing with? The amount of insects, man, the insects. We just got hit by those athoids, whatever the little tiny little bugs. They just came and hit a whole bunch of our plants a couple weeks ago, out of nowhere. All right. Do you have the appropriate stuff to kill these things off, to protect your crops? All right. Well, if you're planning on going buying at the store, good luck with that. All right, Fallout Shelter, good to see you, brother. Fallout Shelter's, he's been with us for a very long time. Great dude. I don't know if he is still doing anything on YouTube. I know he went to DLive a lot because he kept getting hit by this platform, but he is on Twitter. If you guys have not been over there, he does post over on Twitter too. All right, scrolling through here. So more on our meet and greet. It will be the first week of November. It's going to be on the weekend. It'll probably be a Saturday. That way it's just easier. Fallout Shelter got one strike left. Yeah, brother, I know you got hit so many times, and all he was doing was finding the articles, bringing them to you, but it was topics that you were not allowed to talk about on this platform. You know, social media, I've talked about social media before, guys. All social media is run by a group. Okay, it doesn't matter if you are here on YouTube. It doesn't matter if you go to BitChute or Rumble or Parler, because when you make enough stink, if they can't shut you down on all of them, they just contact the people that are the sponsors of those platforms, put pressure on them, give them those thumb screws, and they're like, oh, you're hurting our pocketbook. Let's go ahead and shut this guy down. That's what happens. So the internet is just a tool. I get to spread what message I can on the internet. I have a bigger viewer base here than I do on those other platforms. This is why I spend most of my time here. I just watch how I say things, and there are people that like to attack me for that. That's fine, because the things I say, I'm reaching over 50,000 people. And if only 10% listen and stockpile food, their family ready, that's 5,000 people I help get prepared. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right, guys, so let me get wrapped up here. I do have to work out again tonight. I got to do triceps, but it's raining currently. And yeah, I don't mind working out in the rain, but I've dropped a couple bars before because, you know, the metal bars, and I don't wear gloves. And I don't want to injure myself, so it'll probably be this evening. That's another thing, guys, exercising. I've had some people, you know, you shouldn't be fat shaming. I'm not fat shaming. I've shown the photos. I was 256 pounds, I think it was. I was very, very heavy, overweight. I try to show to encourage, all right? But people get their feelings on their sleeves on the internet all the time. It's just crazy. You know, the snowflake mentality I see, that's supposedly, let's say it's supposedly coming from the hardcore right wing and stuff like that. You know, I think most of the stuff on the internet, the people saying things, are just looking for a group to feel they're a part of something, and they don't want to get involved with actually doing something. Okay? You're not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing. I see that a lot. Reaper. I like that hashtag. Miss Ghetto, snowflakes are everywhere, unfortunately. Yeah. You know, they used to say snowflakes were unique. They're not. That's my bit of Bill Nye Science, brought to you by Survival Living. Snowflakes are not unique. They're all same. So, anyway, Sweet Tea, good to see you, my friend. You got me motivated, feeling much better. Awesome. Sweet Tea's been with us for a very long time. That is awesome. I'm very glad you guys have been taking care of the things up there where you're at. Get full preps. I did my morning walk. Get the home bag this morning. It's 40 pounds, just 1.5 miles on flat paved. My legs are killing me. Grateful prepper. Awesome. Very awesome. Guys, you don't have to do what I do in my training. I'm at the point in my body where I'm having to push even harder. But I want people to start exercising. I do. I see the need for it. If you really are serious about your survival, you need to have your body in check. Now, with that being said, I understand people have disabilities. Some people have a lot of age on them, but I won't age people out. I'm not going to be called an ageist. Is that a word? Because I actually know some people that are older than me, like when I worked out in the shipyards, I couldn't hold a light to the stuff they were doing, all right? But if you physically are not able to exercise your body, you need to be working on building a group, strength in numbers. Don't allow yourself to be a victim. And don't allow yourself to be the person, well, must be nice to be able to do blah, blah, blah. I have this problem, I have that. Don't be that person. You won't survive with that mentality. You won't. To survive, you push your limits. You find ways to make things happen. That's how you survive. Survival isn't a walk in the park. Survival is called survival for a reason. All right? You know, when I do my outdoor survival videos and stuff, I actually immerse myself deep in and put my body through the limits. Now, I've had the commenters before. Well, it's not really survival, really, because you could have always walked that if you needed to. Yeah, I mean, what do you want me to do? Rent a helicopter and have me parachute off in some distant land somewhere that I know nothing about and maybe make it, maybe not, for your view and enjoyment? Or could I actually just put my body through some major stuff, put my body through physical exertion, food deprivation, sleep deprivation, water deprivation, and then show you what happens to your body? Kind of like the our Hell Week that we attempted. I made it to day 3 again. That's it. I called it a failure because I didn't make all 7 days. I didn't think I would make it 7 days, because I know for a fact you're doing that type of training and you're only eating 1,200 calories, you're going to fall out. The reason I know this is because I'm active and I'm always outdoors. I'm always doing the stuff. That's why I did that video. Now, did I have to beat my body up to get my point through? Yeah, but I do that anyway. I treat my body like an amusement park. Okay? Yeah, there you go. So I'm not worried about the extra strain, the physical. And when I got to a point where I was actually falling out, that's when I called it quits. I knew my body reached its limit. There was no way I was going to go any further without injuring myself. So we called it quits. But I was making the point. The stuff you read online, most of it's horseshit. All right? I've seen one 21-day sun diet, some crap like that. No eating, no drinking. You could only have water, and you got all your nutritional needs you could ever get was from the rays of the sun. Don't be stupid. In conflict, especially preparation for a shit hits the fan, you want your body fueled up. You want to have a lot of calories built up. And I see it a lot with the prepping channel. We are not photosynthetic. I agree. New channel, I agree. Thomas, definitely appreciate that. Yeah, the thumbs up definitely does help, guys. I know I come across rough. It's my personality, guys. I'm not one to cater, and I try not to offend, but I've been a welder most of my life, so you're going to get offended. I try to watch what I say, though. But I see it all the time about you need to start dieting and get used to eating less food to make your preps last longer. No, we prep so we can have 3 square meals a day. That's what you do. You don't prep with the idea that you're just going to eat 900 calories and hopefully survive. We prep and stockpile so we can have 3 meals a day if we're stuck in a situation where we need it. And that's why I was telling you about rotational stock. So I've had people comment, well, I bought a whole bunch of stuff during the pandemic and now it's going bad. Why were you not, why was this not in a rotational stock? Because as long as you've got, see, we're at 2.5 years on rotational stock alone. It's constantly being cycled. It never goes bad because we're always using it. So at this moment, if something major happens, I've got 2.5 years of normal food. And how you plan that out? You plan out meals because you're eating it anyway. You already know what you're eating. That simple. Then we have our freeze dry supply. All right, that gives us an additional time on that. But we also have seeds. We show growing things like that, guys. Your rotational stock of food, that's to hold you over through multiple growing seasons while you're growing, in case something happens to your garden, in case something happens to your supplies when you're trying to store this stuff, either canning, dehydration, drying it out. And you also need to be growing to seed and securing those. So we prep so we thrive, not to starve ourselves to death. Now, to address the comments I see, and there's nothing wrong with comments, but some comments I like to address because I'm kind of fearful that people are actually thinking this way. You should never cook your food because people will smell it and come to take it. Yes, they will. And that's why you have defensive tools. To think that you're going to be sitting on a stockpile of food and people will not notice, that's wishful thinking. It is. During this type of SHTF event where there's no food in the grocery stores, whatever, and you're the only person in your area with that, that's why I say build a group, strength in numbers. We have no delusions that we will not have to fight to protect what we have. Hear me out on that. I've seen the threats from other YouTubers saying that they will come after us. What do you think we've been training for? We haven't been stockpiling food and training to sit on our thumbs. Nice way for me to put it. We've been training for people like you. That's who we've been waiting for. That's what we trained for. So you can come up and talk about how SHTF isn't what we think it's going to be. Unlike you, we are training multiple scenarios. Speaking, I don't know if he's still here, Asymmetrical Preparedness. Guys, like I said, go check out his channel. He's always doing training, mocking up different type of things. You have to. There's no one set rule of SHTF. It can happen in multiple different types of scenarios. Thankfully, most scenarios our preps cover. Okay, now there are some things we have to get extra items on, like radiological, nuclear. We have to get specialty items for those type of things. But the majority of our preps cover just about everything. All right. So for those that like to make the threats and, I'll be coming for you, Well, we're waiting. We're expecting you, is what I should say. We're expecting you. All right? Best way I can say that. Nicest way I can say that. All right, guys. So let me get wrapped up here. I do apologize. We were over 45 minutes. Again, for those that have reached out to me by email and stuff, guys, I appreciate the emails. I'm sorry. I am really bad about responding to emails. I will get to them. I've been doing a lot of film. We've been doing a lot of reviews. I'm currently working on some night optic reviews. As you guys know, we do night vision too. You know, we've shown those. Those are generation 1. I've got some new IR equipment coming in. I'll be taking a look at and stuff. Get a gas mask, a CBRN hazmat suit, wireless bum. Yeah, so we use MIRA Saftey for that. You don't have to use our affiliates, guys. That's who we got our supplies from for chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear. You know, the whole 9 yards there. Have supplies. Do I think that you need, you know, nuke suits right now? No, what you need first is your food. You need your water filter. You need your water storage. You need your medical, especially if you need medication to survive day by day. That should be your first priority. All right, food, first priority, medical if life depends on it. Water, food, hygiene, other things. And believe it or not, even morale booster treats are great to have. They really are. They really are. We stockpile tobacco products because I enjoy tobacco products. I got a dip in right now. Is it the healthiest thing? No, it's not. But of everything else I do, me dipping is the biggest thing the worst thing I do. I'm good. I'm good with that. It doesn't mean I'm right. I know dipping's bad for you. Of course it is. It's bad on the heart. It's bad on your teeth, bad on your jaws. It's not good. It's bad on your stomach because I don't spit my dip out. Yeah, so I definitely was bad on my stomach. Oh, the coffee got cold. Blah. Yeah, I don't like cold coffee. Anyway, guys, let me get wrapped up here. I do appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, guys, definitely appreciate all the support you guys have been showing me. Guys, when you hear me shout out channels, it's because I know these individuals. Check them out. All right? Speak to y'all later. Just be safe. Be smart about things. Please be smart. I'll talk to y'all later.